All right, good morning. I'm over here chatting. Hold on. Listen, it is time now for GI Justice here on a Friday morning on the front page at UTTV. This is where we get with the law firm of Gomez-Yagman, trial attorneys, and discuss the big legal issues of the week. Let me introduce you to the first gentleman that we're going to speak to this morning. This is Ben Coughlan, back for a return engagement on the front page. Ben, good to visit with you this morning.
Good to visit with you, and sorry to keep you chatting before you went on air.
That's all right. No, we were talking. Hey, you were telling me something I like to hear, which is you like the new reality show.
Well, that's what I'm here for, to tell you what you like to hear, right?
Right. Listen, let's start off with this. There is a bill happening right now, and I know a lot of folks who are watching this morning are very familiar with it. It's called Bill 1401, and the question is, should immigrants, and you're going to have to give me all the details on this, but should folks who come from outside of the United States be able to sit on a jury? And I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about that.
Right. Well, it's Assembly Bill 1401, and is actually currently, it's been passed by both the Assembly and the state Senate at this point, and it's on Governor Brown's desk awaiting his signature or veto.
And this is about non-U.S. citizens, right? So if you moved over here from wherever, whether it was from Mexico, Canada, Japan, whatever, you're a non-U.S. citizen, can you sit on a jury?
That's exactly right. It's about lawful permanent immigrants. So these are people we generally know as people that have green cards, right? What the bill would do is change the language of Code of Civil Procedure that 203, which says that only U.S. citizens can serve on juries. Now, there are other provisions that exclude people for different reasons. First, you have to have an understanding of the English language, you have to be 18, those sorts of things. All this would do would change the language to say lawful permanent immigrants, people that have residences in the state of California, would now be subject to jury duty.
You think that's you think it's going to pass?
Well, it has passed both the Assembly and the Senate so far, and Jerry Brown,
will the governor, right?
Jerry Brown has not indicated one way or another at this point. What he did do though last week was sign a bill that allowed legal permanent immigrants to work in polling places. So that may be an indication. You know, supporters are saying, hey, well, non-U.S. citizens, legal permanent immigrants, they can be parties in lawsuits, they can be lawyers, they can even be judges. Why can't they serve on juries? And if we are supposed to have a jury of our peers and 10% of the California population are legal permanent immigrants, shouldn't legal permanent immigrants be people that sit on juries as part of our peers?
As a trial attorney, do you have a strong opinion one way or the other?
Well, my personal belief is that this is a good bill. I think it's inclusive. I think it is non-discriminatory, and it opens up the system to a group that should have access to be able to sit on juries. They're parties in lawsuits, right? These are people that can have charges brought against them criminally. Shouldn't their peers also be people that are subject to be on juries? Now, of course, opponents say that it's not necessary. We have a jury pool that's big enough already. In fact, one of the most vocal opponents is right here in San Diego, Rocky Chavez in Oceanside. He's saying there's no need for this. We already have a big enough jury pool. But as a trial attorney, I know, and I'm sure you may have tried to get off a jury once or twice in your life too, there are people that say, you know, we don't want to be on juries. And there are parts of the state where it is a problem finding a big enough jury pool.
Well, when is Governor Brown going to make a decision as to which way he's going to go on this?
Well, the governor has 12 days to either sign or veto the bill. So he will have, and I believe it passed on October 28th in the Senate. So he will have 12 days, and if it passed, it'd go into effect the first of the year.
Wow. All right. Interesting topic. Let me just turn my attention to another one real quick from this past week. You're familiar with Carrie Charlesworth. This is the teacher that is suing the San Diego diocese because she was fired from a Catholic school because her ex-husband was showing up on campus. They had to lock the campus down. They chose not to renew her contract, and she's now suing them. What do you make of this story? Because for me, I will tell you, for me, it's a private school. If you're endangering other people on campus, then frankly, you got to go. And she's obviously, she lost her job, so she feels the other way.
Sure, and you guys had her right here on UTTV the other day, and I watched that interview, and I think it's a terribly sad situation. This is a woman who suffered for years as a victim of domestic violence. My understanding is much of it was verbal abuse, but some physical as well. And when she went to the principal of the school and said, you know, hey, I got a restraining order against my ex-husband. I'm a little scared of him, and he showed up at school but didn't come after her. Nothing happened that day. They shut down the school and then sent her a letter saying she and her children could not come back. And she's suing on a breach of contract basis.
Yeah, I feel like if my kids were going to school there and your drama was leading to issues that have nothing to do with me and I'm paying the school, then we get to make the decision that we're choosing to let you go. And I'm gonna be following this one. This one to me is very interesting. How do you think it's going to go? Well,
that's the school's argument, and it's sad to think of from Ms. Charlesworth's perspective. Is she's a victim here, and now she feels like she's being victimized again.
Yeah, yet again.
And she feels like the school had her sign this employment contract, which says she had to follow the tenets of the religion, but the school is not doing that as well. Right. That's her argument.
Ben, a pleasure.
Absolutely.
We're going to continue GI Justice, and we're going to look at some other major legal issues. Coming right back. Good job, dude.